Good morning, everybody. Are you able to listen my voice?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. I think this is your second lecture, right? Isn't it, Akshat?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
okay, I mean, you have not started ER diagram, right? I have not started ER
What,
diagram
ma'am?
in your ER diagram, entity relationship diagram. I have
No,
not
no.
started. Okay,
No, no, no,
okay
no,
then.
no.
Okay, fine. Let's do revision first of first lecture. Then I'm going to start the next lecture, right? We have gone through our teaching scheme. It is as per the last semester, 60/40. Then I told you name of book. There are two books. The first one is we can say Henry and Cort, and the second one is CJ Date. You can go for any of this book. Both the books are very nice. Then SQL and PLSQL by Even Bios. This is the compulsory book for you to or order online, or you can find out PDF from internet. If I'll find out, I'll send you link. Then the unit 1 consists of only, we can say, introductory part. I have already explained you what is DBMS, the history of DBMS. DBMS means database management system. Initially, we were keeping everything on paper, but it was very time consuming. Lots of manpower was required. You have to store lots of data in different, we can say, files or pages. Then we can say cassette came into the market, but there were again a problem. You have to store your data in sequential manner. Then hard disk came into the market. So it was started initially from 1950s. We have gone through what is data. Data is nothing but a value, a raw material, which is going to proceed and it becomes a meaningful information. Then I have told you some example like telephone directory, which is the example of database management system, which is going to store the information about the people, their phone number, their address, and everything. Then Facebook, which is also going to store your list, friend list, your chat messages, your likes, and everything is there. So these are the collection of data. And I told you what are the problem with the previous, we can say, paper-based database management system. There are lots of duplication or redundancies there. Data inconsistency was there whenever you wants to access any kind of data. It required, we can say, lots of time, lots of efforts. Security were also not there. Anyone can take your file because of some disaster. You will going to lose your data. So these kind of problems were there. Then I explained you what are the advantages and disadvantages of DBMS. Advantages means we can say first one is it is going to reduce the redundancy. Duplication was going to avoid it. Second thing is security. It is going to provide, you are accessing ATM. In that case, you are giving your PIN number. So it provides a proper security. Third thing is whatever thing you want to search, you can easily search. Suppose I want to book a ticket for a movie, then I can easily send a booking request. Third one is backup and recovery. As it is computerized system, so we can store our data in hard disk, we can store our data in some pen drive, and we can even keep our data distributed also. Next thing is multiple users are also allowed. Different from different ATM, we can access our money. Next is integrity constraint. If there are no employees in our university who is having salary less than 10,000, so if you put some kind of constraint using coding in DBMS, then at that time, whenever you are entering data, it will give you error that this is not a, we can say, valid data. If it is having salary less than 2,000, it means there are constraints. No one can have salary less than 10,000. So these were the advantages. Then along with the advantages, I told you some of the disadvantages of DBMS. First is you have to purchase a hardware and software, a high speed processor you required, and memory is also large you required. So there were a cost of hardware and software purchasing. Then difficult cost of data conversion. You have to convert your paper by or file data into a computerized data. Third thing is no one can enter without prior knowledge. So you have to train a people. So that cost is again there. I have given you some example of TCS whenever they are hiring the students. They have to first give them training. Students are learning that software and then student has to work as an employee. So this kind of training cost is also required. Then you have to appoint the technical skill staff. So there is again a, we can say, costly process. So these are the disadvantages. Then I told you that people who work with the database, database implementer, database administrator, application programmer, and end user. These are the users who are working with your database management system. I explained you what is casual user. The people who are going to use your database occasionally, like our executive president sir or registrar sir. He don't want our data every day. Once in a while he need our data. In that case, they are going to access. So that is called casual user. Naive user who are continuously updating your database. Suppose railway reservation clerk or bank clerk or hotel clerk who is receiving your bill, who is serving your request for booking a ticket. So they have to see it constantly. Sophisticated user, they are having some complex requirements like engineers, scientists, and standalone user like us who are using our database for their personal use. So we have gone through all these things. Then I told you about the database languages. I think I haven't told you about the database languages. Let me start in the brief what is database languages. There are mainly three types of database languages: data definition, data manipulation, and data control. Data definition means whenever you want to create any table, I told you that we are going to create our data in form of table. For example, suppose I want to create a database of student. So in that case, I have to draw one table and I have to put some rows and column into that particular table. I don't know why annotation is not working. So I have to create a table like this and I have to give some rows and column into that table. Student name, student number, like this you can take a row in form of table. So there are command called create command. If I want to change some rows and column, name of the student, address of the student, in that case I have to use alter command. If I have to remove or delete some rows, that is, then drop command is there, truncate command is there. I want to change the name of table, in that case I have to use rename command. So these are the, we can say, commands which is used with the our database definition language. Next is data manipulation language. Suppose you want to retrieve some things. I want to retrieve the marks of student. I need a total number of student who got double A grade in DBMS. So in that case, I have to use query select. These all things you will going to learn in SQL part. So in that case, I have to give query that select marks from the student where marks greater than, we can say, 90 in DBMS or grade is equal to AB in DBMS. So in that case, these are the, we can say, select statement. If I want to change address of a particular student, in that case I can use update. If I want to insert some data, so I have to use insert command. So these are the data manipulation language using which you are going to update your table. Third one is data control language, DCL. So suppose there are so many employees or 40 employees team who are working on same project and they want to access same data type. Then project manager has to give grant or access to all the people who are working on the same table. In that case, he will use this command grant. So using this command, anyone can access that table. And suppose the work is finished now, that particular person don't want anyone to update that table. In that case, they will take a back that grant, and that is called revoke. Now, database models. There are different types of database models, but mainly we are using is relative model. The first one is hierarchical model. Hierarchical means what? It is in form of, I can say, a parent-child relationship. If I can take example of your family, in that case, your grandparents, your parents, and you people will come. Like this, suppose I want to take example of database of any company, or I can say our college. So in that case, there is a executive president, then president, executive president, registrar, then DGM of admin, DGM of placement, then faculties, then students. This kind of hierarchy is there. At the root level, there are one node, and the all nodes are linked with the some we can say lines. So these are the form of hierarchical model. So whenever they want to access data of each other, it is required, we can say, lots of link and connection. There is one to many mapping kind of thing. And this is a complex model. It is like a tree structure. The next one is, if I can give example of a company, then company is having director. There are various managers, HR manager, sales manager, marketing manager, area manager, sales executive. So they are having such kind of hierarchy. So whenever you want to make a database of that particular company, in that case, you have to follow this hierarchy. Second one is network model. You can see here it is in form of particular graph and a nodes. A node are connected with each other. They are everything is in form of network, like department, student, university is having many department. Students are learning in different departments. There are many professors who are taking subject in different departments. You can see here we are in CE department. Even though there are so many professors from electrical, from EC branch, they are taking subject in our branch. So we can say that professors can work in many department, more than one department. There are so many courses, students can attend more than one courses, and department can offer more than one courses. So everything is in form of a particular graph. They can access each other's data through that particular link. This is the second model, and it is called network model. Now third model, which is most popular and widely used, and that is called relational model, which is in form of table. You can see here there are tables. See here. So number, course name, and unit. These are three columns of this particular table, and I have entered value into this three column. The course name is Introduction to CV, Introduction to Java, Unix, Networking. So these are the, we can say, course name. Now, table is called relation. Table is having attributes. For example, I want to draw the table of student. So which column I have to keep? Can anyone reply me? Suppose I want to make a table of student. So in that case, which column I have to take? Anyone unmuted?
Name, roll number, name, address.
Okay. Okay, fine. Okay. So these are the attributes of that student entity, and this attribute will become column of our table. So whenever I am taking a table's name student, so these are the student number, student name, student address, student city. These is the columns, and which is known as the attribute. So another name of column is attribute. And if I am entering data into that particular table, I don't know why my pointer is not working properly. Otherwise, I can draw the table and show you the table. See here, you can draw the table like this. Okay, and you can take the column here, the column name, number. Here you can take column name. Here you can take column name, address, and you can enter detail of the student like roll number 1. This is one row. Roll number 2. This is another row. Here I can give name whatever, suppose ABC, Ram, Sita, Radha, whatever name you want to take, modern name or God name, whatever you want to take, you can take. Here I'm taking name ABC like this. So whatever data I'm inserting here, this all data will become my row. And the another name of row is tuple, right? And the name of, these are the number, these are the, here I'm taking name of that particular student. So this name is one column. So these three are the column, and these columns are known as the attribute, right? And the whole table is known as a relation. So this is the relational database model. It is, we can say, very simple and most common model. It was developed in 1970 by E.F. Codd, and it was become commercial. Everybody are using it from 1980s. Data elements are stored in different tables, which consist of rows and columns. Here you can see that roll number, name, surname, and section. So these are the roll number, these are the name, what are the surname, and in which section they are studying. In this way, you can store your data into the table form. Okay. DBMS functionality that you all are aware, it defines the data type, structure, constraint. It is going to construct or load the database in secondary storage. It is going to manipulate your database. You can fire the query, you can generate the receipt, printout kind of thing. If you are going to book the ticket, then they'll give you some hard copy of ticket. It means that you have generated a report using database. Insertion, deletion, modification is also available. You can modify your password, right? Concurrent processing, example of ATM, you can access your data from anywhere. Crash recovery is there. If anyone ATM is not working, even though you can access your data from other ATM. So there is a crash recovery because your database are replicated. It provides the security. You are using PIN number, password, OTP will going to generate. It create a data dictionary. Data dictionary means data about the data, the metadata. Dictionary contains your data in form of, we can say, proper thing. Suppose I'm telling my name. The name should be of which data type? There are main data types are float, character, varchar, and number. Many data types are there, tags, images, but generally we are using is numeric data type for number like 1, 2, 3, 4. Varchar is a combination of number and character both. Suppose I am taking one kind of code, your ID number, then it contains IU164, something like that. So there are some character and there are some numbers. So the combination of number and character alphanumeric is going to store into that particular varchar. Suppose I am taking only text data, then it is going to store in character. So these are the, we can say, some functionalities of DBMS. Applications. Can anyone tell me applications? After learning all these things, you should aware where you can apply the database. Anyone unmute and tell me applications of database. Tell me. Anyone can?
ERP system.
Where?
ERP. ERP.
Yes, ERP. Then it is used everywhere. You can give me any example, any answer, it should be correct. Now give me answer. In banking, bank is going to store your data. Wherever your data, wherever your information is going to stored, these are the application of your database. Our college ERP system, which is going to store your record, your fees record, your marks record, right? Now unmute, please mute yourself. Mute yourself. Whenever you want to give answer, in that case only unmute, otherwise please mute yourself, because I'm going to record the lecture and I'm going to provide you lecture also. So at the time of exam, you can rewind. Okay. So these are the applications where you are going to use your database. Whenever your data is going to store, this is called application. In banking, my data are there. My name is there, my address is there, my bank account number is there, what is the money I am having in my bank, how many transactions I did, right? So this is called application or use of DBMS. Airline reservation information is there. How many flights are there? What are the timings of that particular flights? Which are the source and destination? Schedules of flight. These are the application. University is keeping registration information about the student, fees information about the student, grade information about the student. So these are the application of DBMS. Currently, we are using multimedia database also. We are storing videos, we are storing audios, we are storing our images and everything. So these are the examples of DBMS. Now we will move to the architecture of database management system. See, this subject is really very interesting. People are really getting very good grade in this subject. So learn it properly, and this is the core subject of your branch. Everywhere you need it, right? And think positive, be positive. લાઈફમાં ક્યારેય નેગેટિવ થવાની કોઈ જરૂર છે જ નહીં. જે વિચારશો એ જ વસ્તુ થશે તમારી સાથે. ઘણીવાર આપણને એવું ફીલ થતું હોય છે ને, સમટાઈમ વી ફીલ ધેટ this things I have shown, I have gone through these things, and this thing is again going to happen with me. This is because of the vibrations, the positivity you are giving to the environment, right? Whenever you are traveling through the flight, and then air hostess, what air hostess is telling you? Okay, now we are going to land or we are going to fly, so you please tie up your seat belt and relax. Then you will going to feel, yes, I have to be relaxed. If she will tell you that no, it's very tensionable thing, whether you will reach or not, whether you will alive or die, so in that case, yes, our mind will think na આપણે tension કરવાનું છે, like this. So whatever instruction, whatever command you are going to give to your mind, that mind will going to accept, right? I'm telling you these things because I want to give you some motivation, right? So if there are one particular person who is riding the horse, whenever he was riding the horse, first time there were some, we can say, એવું ખાડા જેવું આવે છે, તો એ હોર્સને કહે છે જમ્પ, તો હોર્સ જમ્પ કરે છે. સેકન્ડ ટાઈમ અગેન આગળ જઈને ફરી એવું ખાડા જેવું આવે છે, કહે છે જમ્પ, તો જમ્પ કરે છે હોર્સ. થર્ડ ટાઈમ આવે છે જમ્પ, તો જમ્પ કરે છે. દેન એ પર્સન ટાયર્ડ થઈ જાય છે, હી વોઝ સ્લીપિંગ, એને સ્લીપી ફીલ થાય છે. નેક્સ્ટ ટાઈમ જ્યારે બી એક ખડ્ડો આવે છે ને, એટ દેટ ટાઈમ હોર્સ વોઝ એની જાતે જ જમ્પ કરવા માંડે છે. પહેલા કેવું હતું કે રાઇડર હોર્સને ચલાવતો હતો. નાઉ વોટ ઇઝ ધ સિચ્યુએશન? હોર્સ ઇઝ રાઇડિંગ ટુ ધેટ પર્ટિક્યુલર person, right? So you have to give command to your mind. Positivity rakhwani life ma, right? Now we will move to the example of our 2-tier and 3-tier architecture. Okay. Any one of you please tell me your name, roll number 1. Roll number 2, tell me your name.
Nishit Rathod.
Rishit. Okay, now mute yourself. Nishit. Okay, fine. Okay, I'm giving you an example. Nishit, you please don't mind. This is simply example, right? Suppose Nishit, after completing B, Nishit has opened his lari of Pani Puri. And now you one of your classmate, એ જાય છે અને પાણીપુરી ટેસ્ટ કરે છે અને એને મજા આવે છે કે નિશિતે બહુ સરસ પાણીપુરી બનાવી દીધી છે. Nishit is the person who is the owner of that particular lari. Nishit is preparing the pani puri, Nishit is serving the pani puri, Nishit is collecting the money. Everything can be done by a single person, right? હવે જે પર્સન ખાઈને આવે છે ને, એ ક્લાસમાં આવીને બધાને કહે છે કે પાણીપુરી વોઝ વેરી ટેસ્ટી. સો ઓલ ઓફ યુ હેવ ડિસાઇડેડ ટુ ગો એટ ધ લારી ઓફ દેટ પર્ટિક્યુલર નિશિત, અને બધા જઈને કહે છે કે one for me, right? Now Nishit is not able to make a pani puri because I think 75 of you will go together, right? And asking for the pani puri. So Nishit is the only person who is the responsible for doing everything. He has to make, he has to serve, he has to collect the money. But in place of this, what he did, after some time, Nishit has opened very big restaurant near Rachada village. And we can say it's a 5-star restaurant. Now all of you goes together to his restaurant. Nishit is having some staff who is managing, we can say chef are there, who are responsible for making food, some managers who are collecting money, some of the staff who are serving the plates. So all of you will get your table and chair. You will have very nice environment. Light music is going on as it is five-star hotel, and you are giving your order. Your order is going to note down, right? Serving and everything. So this is the exact difference between the two-tier and three-tier architecture. When there are two-tier architecture, there are only two layers. Everyone, any problem? Why are you making noise? Mute yourself. Okay. So whenever there are two-tier architecture, there were only two tiers, two layers, database layer and application layer. Client and server. Only single server will be there. Whenever request goes to that particular server through the client, server has to solve that request, right? So there are client-server communication, application to database and database to application. It was easy when there is only one client and one server. But if there are so many clients, in that case, you need somebody to be middleware. Like here in restaurant, at the time of Lari, only one person was managing. But in restaurant, there are so many people in between who are managing. Somebody is taking order, somebody is serving food, somebody is collecting money, somebody is preparing food. So it becomes very nicely organized and it becomes very easy to manage everything. Same way, when there are many clients and requesting parallelly, in that case, you need one middleware. Using this middleware, the application layer will collect the data from the database layer and give the output, right? So whenever you are filing any query through the middleware, suppose you will learn Android subject in higher semester, you can see that there are Java programming, core Java programming, there are XML programming, and there are database. These three things are connected. So that XML is working as a middleware. So whenever any request will go, it will pass through the middleware to the database. And whenever any reply will come, that is also passed through the middleware. So there is a nice arrangement in three-tier architecture. So there are three layers: physical layer, conceptual layer, and external layer. Okay. Now what is physical layer? Physical layer is connected or concerned with the database storage, data storage definition. Suppose I want to install an ATM. So I have to find out where exactly I have to install that particular machine. What is the physical location? Because I have to keep track of everything. I have to put money into that. So everything physically is concerned with the internal schema or physical layer. Second thing is conceptual, means the programming we have done behind that particular ATM machine, that comes under the category of conceptual layer. And the third one is external layer. It means whatever query, whatever we can say command you are giving, like you are giving your ATM PIN number, then you want to withdraw some money, you want to do mobile recharge. So everything done by the end user, that is known as application layer. End user is concerned with the only application layer and doesn't have any we can say relation with the conceptual or the physical layer. It doesn't make any difference what programming they have done behind that particular ATM card withdrawal and money withdrawal, because we don't care about that. We are caring about that, yes, our money is coming from anywhere, everywhere. That is the our main concern. So we don't care about what are the physical location, what are the conceptual thing. End user is only interested in application. The next is ER diagram, which is known as the entity relationship diagram. Okay, this is the another model after the relationship model. Okay, shall I continue or are you feeling bored? Let me know. Hello? Nishit?
Yes, ma'am.
Shall I continue? Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So, ER diagram means your entity relationship diagram. Entity means what? Entity can be anything, any real world object. Entity can be place, entity can be people. Library is one entity, student is one entity, teacher is one entity. ER diagram shows the relationship between two entities, how these two entities are connected. How we are connected, teacher and student. What is the relationship between? We have to find out our entities, we have to find out our attributes, we have to find out the relationship between entities. Whenever you are making project, it is not necessary to do coding only. These are the documentation part, and which required, we can say, lots of time. Whenever you are working with some database, which was, we can say, complicated, in that case, database processing only takes your 6 months, right? So whenever you want to make any kind of project, the first thing is database. If that particular person is doing PhD, or that particular person is doing MTech or ME, whenever he wants to start his project or work, be student, he first required a database. Other than database, you cannot work on any project or any research work, right? So from that database, at your level, you have to find out what is the entity, what are the attributes of that entity, what are the relationship between the entities. For example, I can see that student is one entity and teacher is one entity. How student and teacher are connected? Teacher teaches student, right? So these are the relationship between the student and teacher. If I'm purchasing something on ISKCON Mall and you found me and tell me that, madam, can you please explain us this topic of DBMS? May I explain you? No, I'll not explain you. I'll tell you, meet me in college or call me other time, because this is not a way, right? If you can go to the library and tell librarian, please give me 3 4 books, actually I need it, I'm getting late, I don't want to process for library card and anything. Will he give you? He will not going to give you, right? You cannot pay your fees to your accountant if he found you near some your society area or somewhere else in bazaar. You cannot pay, give cash to him, right? So everything should be done through the process. There should be one relationship, there should be one process, everybody has to follow. So this is the example of, we can say, ER diagram. For drawing ER diagram, you have to remember certain symbols. The first symbol is, I can say, rectangle, which represent the entity. Second symbol is attribute, which is in form of ellipse. Attribute is characteristic of that particular entity. For student entity, what are the characteristics? You told me that, madam, student is having name, student is having email ID, student is having enrollment number. So these are the attribute of that particular student class, right? And there are relationship between these two entities, teacher and student, and this relationship drawn by this diamond symbol. So I can say that if I'm taking two entities, I don't know, pointer is not working. Shall I stop today? We will see the things next time in next lecture.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay,
Okay,
Okay, ma'am.
okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
okay, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
ओके आपने चैट बॉक्स में अपनी अटेंडेंस डाली क्या? Write down your attendance in check box. Those who have marked their presence can please leave.